Did you hear that? The 13th chime. It shouldn't exist, but we all know it's there, hiding behind the face of that demon clock. Once more it is time for the veil of shadows to be lifted. Once more it is time for the Hallow-Holics Anonymous podcast.
A Child's Nightmare by Robert Graves. Through long nursery nights he stood by my bed unwearying, loomed gigantic, formless, queer, purring in my haunted ear, that same hideous nightmare thing, talking as he lapped my blood, in a voice cruel and flat, saying forever, "Cat, cat, cat." That one word was all he said, that one word through all my sleep, in monotonous mock despair. Nonsense may be light as air, but there's nonsense that can keep horror bristling around the head, when a voice cruel and flat says forever, "Cat, cat, cat." He had faded, he was gone, years ago with nursery land, when he leapt on me again, from the clank of a night train, overpowered me foot and head, lapped my blood while on and on, the old voice cruel and flat says forever, "Cat, cat, cat." Morphia drowsed, again I lay, in a crater by high wood. He was there with straddling legs, staring eyes as big as eggs, purring as he lapped my blood, his black bulk darkening the day, with a cruel and flat, "Cat, cat, cat, cat." He said, "Cat, cat." When I'm shot through heart and head, and there's no choice but to die, the last word I'll hear, no doubt, won't be charge or bomb them out, nor the stretcher bearers cry, "Let that body be, he's dead," but a cruel voice and flat, saying forever, "Cat, cat, cat."
Live from a scenic tour from hell with Dante and Virgil, I'm Julianne.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Madeline.
Oh, you went with Madeline this time.
Yes, I'm being a little bit more theatrical and professional.
Ooh.
So today we're talking about El Diablo.
And for the English speakers out there, that means the devil.
Ooh, spooky. So we're just talking about, I guess, like, the devil as he's called the devil. I mean, what I've noticed is a lot of times they don't use his name Lucifer. They just use devil.
Yeah, and very rarely do they use the word Satan.
Yeah, that one too. It's odd how they just go with devil, because I feel like devil is almost more broad. Like
Yeah.
that can just mean demons.
Yeah, pretty much. It can just refer to any of his servants, really.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the big D, Lucifer himself, in cinema and film, which is the same thing.
I was like, where's she going with this?
I got this idea after I had swung by the library bookstore last week, and I picked up an old worn copy of Ray Bradbury classic, Something Wicked This Way Comes. And I thought to myself, there are a lot of really awesome movies with the devil.
True, a lot of them, and I have seen some of them officially. I actually haven't seen Something Wicked This Way Comes, but I really love Ray Bradbury, so I really think I need to check that out. Did you have you've seen that movie before? I'm sure, right, Madeline?
Oh yes, I have.
Is it anywhere online?
I'm not sure if it's available online because I checked it out I actually checked the movie out from the library a few years ago. It's a very good book. It's a very good book, very good movie, and one of my favorite actors plays the devil in that movie. Famous actor from the movie Brazil, Jonathan Pryce.
Jonathan Pryce? Okay, and he's what's he from? What else has he done?
Oh gosh, he's been in a lot of things. He's been in Brazil, which is an equally dark piece, actually a little bit darker. He's in Evita, apparently. He had a role in Pirates of the Caribbean. He played the father.
Really? Huh.
Yes, he did. I think he was in Glengarry Glen Ross, and he was also in The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
I love that movie, but nobody has seen that movie.
It's a great movie.
It is.
I think that is really one of Terry's best pictures. One of the best.
Oh my god, I love that movie. It's just great. Oh, speaking of that guy, Jonathan Pierce, he's actually going to be in Game of Thrones.
Jonathan Pryce is going to be. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's playing the role of High Sparrow in the next season. Yeah, which everybody is like really crazy excited about. Him playing that role. Everyone says he's just perfect for it. So tell us about Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Well, it's a really simple story about two young boys in a small town who are just spending the beginning of the school year hanging out, exploring the town, going to the library, doing something you'd picture any small town kid doing. And then a lightning rod salesman comes into town. Yeah, and he sells them this lightning rod with all kinds of weird symbols on it. Now, I'm talking about the book here because I haven't seen the movie in a long time.
Right.
And then a strange circus comes into town. And people start to sort of get their heart's desires at a particular price.
Like, could you give us an example?
Well, the lightning rod salesman is actually the first one to fall victim to this sort of exchange when he comes up to this shop run by the fair owner, and there's the most beautiful woman in the world. She's encased in ice, and he kind of wants to approach it, and he knows if he touches that ice, he'll have her. She'll open her eyes.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna definitely check that out because that sounds really amazing.
That sounds really cool.
I just feel like though, anytime a circus comes to town, you should just not trust it. Just bad things happen to people's in circuses.
I agree. It's clowns.
Yeah, I almost fell out of a ride at a circus a few years ago.
Oh God.
Absolutely terrifying.
Were you not buckled in right or what?
I was buckled in, but my seat, the lock, the thing that goes over your head, broke and came up. And I had to pull it down right when the ride went upside down.
That's why Chris doesn't go on rides.
That's why I don't go on roller coasters.
Chris is totally scared of roller coasters and refuses to go on them.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, man, because you know what Juliana always says? They're safe. People wouldn't ride them if they weren't safe.
They are safe. I'd say that they're safer than cars.
Tell that to Madeline.
They're safer than cars.
I will say that I think that, like, a stationary theme park, like Fiesta Texas, Disney World, whatever, I trust those rides. It's just the traveling circus rides that are a little bit more questionable.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're traveling. I mean,
Yeah.
How often do they really check? I'm sure they check that stuff. I actually have a friend or a person I went to high school with. I don't know if we're friends anymore. And he does that. He's a carny now.
Okay, so you guys are saying you don't trust carnies.
Apparently they don't like that word, so...
Whoa.
Really? Because he always called himself that. So...
Well, it's like
carnival worker?
I think it's like a stage technician. Like, they get upset if people who aren't technicians call them techies.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry,
Carnival
carnies.
workers.
All right, and let's actually dive into the first movie one of us selected. Chris?
Yes, The Exorcist.
Oh, boy.
One of the most horrifying movies of all time.
Yeah, it really is.
Very, very scary movie. The Exorcist was had a $12 million budget and ended up grossing $441 million worldwide, which is quite a jump.
What year did it come out?
1973.
It got released the day after. It got released the day after Christmas. That's hilarious.
Well, I wonder who would have gone to that premiere immediately after Christmas, you know?
Satanists?
I don't know. No.
Yeah, there's so many incredible sequences to that film, and the pacing is just perfect.
Yep. And they went about it really. They really built up to that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It just that slow build up really kind of kills you watching, knowing what's happening next. But begins with a little innocent girl being possessed by the devil.
Of course.
Priest in the beginning is referring to him as Pazazu.
I thought it was Pazuzu.
Pazuzu, sorry. I am.
Zazu?
Thank you. And eventually it starts referring to itself as the devil. This thing just slowly encroaches, and her mother slowly gets more and more worried as she's showing these really weird symptoms. Doctors are baffled, and they eventually come to the conclusion they need to have an exorcism to expel this demon out of her, or expel the devil. And the messed up thing about this is her, the little girl, and her mother are not religious, so they're just kind of minding their own business. And one day she's like, I think that possibly we should look into this with some priests.
Yeah, one of the most disturbing aspects of this movie for me is the fact that this innocent little girl starts to say the most horrible things she shouldn't even know about. And that bit with the crucifix is...
Ooh, that is a bad.
What is that? What happened?
Madeline, you say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Oh my god, she does things with our Lord and Savior that should never be done.
Okay, Chris just did the motion for me. Oh, that's dark.
It's really dark. For reference, this is a 12-year-old girl.
I was thinking she was 14. That makes no difference, but...
Yeah, super young. And just a lot of these scenes are just horrifying that they decide to think. One thing I actually wanted to talk about is one of the scenes. I saw the 2000 re-release.
Okay, so you saw it with the spider walk added back in?
Exactly. that I was like, what the hell? Stupid contortionists.
I heard that this movie was so intense to film it that weird stuff went on the set, even.
Yeah, and, actually, there was a rumor going around for a long time, I think, that Linda Blair died. There's always, when the religious movie is made, that, one of the actors associated ended up dying somehow. But not true for her. Linda Blair, alive. Well, let's see. She's actually been in a lot of things over the years, but just as a frame of reference, she's in Supernatural for an episode.
Oh.
I have an unofficial sequel to The Exorcist called Repossessed. And it's ridiculous. Leslie Nielsen plays Father May I.
Oh, yeah! I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's... What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is very Airplane style humor in this movie, because, Leslie Nielsen.
I love Leslie Nielsen. He was an awesome actor.
Yeah. There's this one bit in the church where the nun walks up to the priest and he's like, Father, there's a letter with your name on it, and it says your name on the letter. But we're talking about The Exorcist. We're not talking about Repossessed. Sorry.
Another horrifying thing I'm sure you know of this, Madeline, is the face that always shows up throughout the movie.
Oh, the flashing.
Yeah, which I didn't know this until I looked into this a little bit more. But they hired a specific actor to have that horrifying face. So there's somebody out there walking around with that ugly ass scary face. It's no mean. I'm not being mean to her. I'm being mean to the fact that she has the potential to look like a ghoul. But yes, it is one that's like that face burned into my memory the first time I saw that movie.
There's just so much about this movie. There's so many little things throughout it that you don't catch the first time.
Yep.
How old were you when you first saw this movie?
I believe I was 16.
Oh, you're pretty old.
Yes, I was, but I was still pretty scared. And the statue from the beginning keeps appearing throughout the movie. I don't know. Did you ever notice that, Madeline?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it kind of. I think it appears in the little girl's room at one point.
What's the significance of the statue?
The statue is the demon or the devil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the statue? Is it like a gargoyle or something?
It's out of the Middle East. They find this statue of the Middle East that the priest has battled him before, right? Madeline, is what it is.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's implied that he's done battle with this before.
Because he sees it and immediately he's like, oh, damn. But
the element of even self-sacrifice in this movie is just really helps push it home that it's such a good film. I don't think it would have been as much of a classic if that hadn't happened.
Yep. Julianne's unaccustomed with the end. Did you want to explain that to her, Madeline?
I really don't want to give away the spoiler to anyone who decides they're going to listen and they want to know the ending. I'm not going to give it away.
I'll read on it later.
Or I will YouTube it in a little bit more.
Or not.
It's just really good.
It is.
It's a classic for a reason. It's easily rewatchable no matter what time period you're in.
And shout out to the voice actress who voiced the devil, Mercedes McCambridge. very apparently a very prominent radio, TV, and movie actress. Died in 2004, I believe. Yeah, that she did an amazing job voicing that thing. Whoa.
Wait, she do the voice like what do you mean she did the voice
Of the possessed girl.
Oh, so she would like the actress would just like mouth
Yeah.
words.
Well, they went through it with the actress saying all her lines, and then they went through and dubbed over her.
Oh, that's neat. I didn't know that actually. I thought she was just like
Speaking really deep.
Yeah, I was like, man, that little girl's got a deep voice. She must be older than she appears.
Oh my god. Didn't that voice actress smoke a lot?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds familiar. It's not. She have like a really deep voice.
She did.
Oh.
But again, she was also a voice actress she did radio for a very long time, then broke into movies.
There's one really funny thing I saw in the making of this movie. The director was so anal about every single aspect of the film being so perfect that even the bacon, when the bacon was being fried, he had to have a specific type of bacon that curled a certain way for the film.
Really? So I wonder how many times they just kept like shooting it trying to get that bacon perfect.
I don't know, but you know what? I wouldn't mind it too much because, hey, free bacon.
So he was just like, more sizzle!
More!
Probably the most intense filming process of the whole thing, the bacon was. Okay, we got that Linda Blair bullshit done with. Now it's for the real dramatic moment here. The bacon.
Let's talk more on this bacon.
And last night when we did our earlier episode, I asked you both to look up the sequence of Fantasia, the final sequence, as a refresher course.
Yeah, we looked it up and we watched it again. It was not how I remembered it. Not how I remembered it at all.
Well, elucidate.
Well, obviously, the devil on top of this mountain, Bald Mountain.
I remember being on top of the mountain. I just don't remember nearly as much dancing as there was. For some reason, the way I remembered it was like him, like powering up, I guess, and then him like swooping over the city, and that's all I remembered. So rewatching it, like with the dancing, I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot about all this dancing, all these harpies, demons and skeletons. Like I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, the boobies.
Lots of boobies, and you know what? I liked it. I thought it was good. I appreciated the boobies. I think it's fine for kids to watch that. It's whatever.
You got yourself a winner, Chris.
Julian, you could say she's a boob connoisseur, if you will.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I own that movie, and I plan on eventually showing that movie to my kids.
I'd like to settle a debate here, right here and now, that people make about this sequence. It's not Chernabog. Maybe the design is slightly influenced by a character called Chernabog. It's the devil. Disney has said it was the devil. The composer in the movie said it was the devil before they even presented the cartoon.
It's the devil.
It is El Diablo.
Yeah, it's not Chernabog.
No, it was quite obvious it was supposed to be the devil in my thought. It was. Chris had brought up a really good thing. It just looked like he was just
playing with souls.
Yeah, the devil playing with souls.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, it's not available on YouTube, but there is an introduction by the composer, from what I recall, who specifies that it's a night, basically, when the devil rises and the demons terrorize the town before the sun comes up. Ultimately, what that whole thing is.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what it appeared to be to me.
Say it's dark for a Disney movie, but I would say it's not the darkest they've done.
Well, no, that is true. It's just looking back on it, it's darker than you really remember if you've seen it as a kid.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was definitely darker than I remember as a kid. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I loved the chalk drawings they had.
I love the dancing fire ladies. That was my favorite. Oh my gosh. It's just so like fluid, and that was a great scene.
Yeah, you can tell this was really the culmination of everything Disney had worked for, that this whole, even just this small portion, was a project that had been his life stream.
Very cool scene.
And moving on from that, I guess I'll start talking about the movie I picked. And I picked a lesser-known movie by the general public called Angelheart. It was made in 1987, and it starred Mickey Rourke before the awful, awful plastic surgery, which pretty much ruined most of his career. And it also, can you guess who plays the devil?
Is it Mickey Rourke?
No, Mickey Rourke plays the main. No, the devil's played by Robert De Niro.
Ooh.
Wow, really?
And he does a good job of it. He's really one of the best devils I've ever seen on screen.
Huh.
Yes, of course, you're not supposed to know he's the devil, but his name is Louis Cypher, so...
Oh, man.
It just hit me.
He's got this dark, long hair, kind of oiled, slicked back. He's got this silver-topped cane, these long nails, and he's a disturbing character before you even really hear him say much.
So they do stuff with, like, you know what I've noticed a lot is when they do stuff with, like, devils or demons, they always do the hands and make the hands really creepy.
Mm-hmm. I think it's possible because the hands are just one of the more intriguing, disturbing aspects of the human shape.
Yeah, because I know that it's like when you're, like, with art, hands are, like, the hardest thing to draw.
Definitely. People usually make the palms too small. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, that could possibly be it. I don't know. It's weird.
But yeah, this is basically, and it's a pretty good kind of mystery. Not really mystery. You figure it out halfway through, but still pretty good. It's got incredible atmosphere. It's set in, it starts in New York, but I think he goes to Louisiana, and it's about this detective, Harry Angel, who's sort of, he's a private investigator, and he gets an assignment from Louis Cypher to find a guy. The guy's name was Johnny.
Cool.
And it starts with this mystery. He goes to this bizarre little church, a Harlem church, and there's something disturbing about the church itself. There's a woman in this black veil, and when he tries to sort of find out who she is, he gets attacked by these guys with guns, and there's this bit where he finds out where the man's daughter is, the guy he's trying to find, finds out where her daughter is, and she is played by Lisa Bonet from The Cosby Show.
Hey!
Yes, and he sees her doing this weird voodoo ritual with chickens, and she's naked.
Okay.
And it's just sort of a deep, crazy spiral, a mystery that starts off kind of interesting, kind of like a normal mystery, and it gets darker and darker and darker until it culminates in this just really disturbing ending. And the movie is just packed with symbolism. There's a lot of fans in it. Sort of, it seems like as the movie progresses, everything in the world that Harry lives in gets hotter. Like hell.
Oh, that's cool. And then, you know, he's like in Louisiana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which it is, like, just boiling hot there. And
Yeah.
there's, like, you know, the voodoo stuff that's known for that place. Other places known for, like, the voodoo and stuff. That's cool. I actually might have to check that out. Angelheart?
Mm-hmm. And I think it's one of Mickey Rourke's best performances.
I don't think I've ever seen Mickey Rourke pre-plastic surgery, so it'll be interesting to watch.
Oh, he was very, very attractive.
Though I would say that probably helped him get his part in Sin City, seeing as how he needed to play the ugliest man alive, so...
Aww.
There is a trailer on YouTube. I suggest we take a little break and you'll watch that trailer.
Whoa. He looks
Yeah.
different. What did he do to his face?
My god, he's a 1980s version of Tom Hardy.
Ritual stuff is creepy.
Mhm.
Always is. Why is every private detective named Harry? Sorry, I read the Dresden Files, and the main, like, private detective's name is also Harry, so.
I don't know. I guess it's just a general common name in
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah,
Maybe like Harry
John.
Potter.
Yeah? Yeah, it is. It's too common. Anyway, that looks really scary. Was it really scary to you watching it?
I am desensitized to most horror films unless I am like really tired. It's late at night. I'm alone in a new house. There's a specific element I need to get me terrified. But that movie did creep me out.
Yeah. Like I was saying, was the ritual stuff always freaks me out. The loud chanting and stuff like that is just very unsettling
Yeah, unfortunately, the movie didn't actually. It didn't gross more than it really broke even. The budget was 17 million estimated, and in the USA it grossed 17.185 mil. Yeah. So in the US it grossed about $185,632. Yeah. It didn't get bad reviews though.
That's good.
Yeah.
Reviewers on their side.
Yeah, but no one listened to them.
And what about you, Julianne? Let's talk about what you selected.
I watched the movie Devil that came out in 2010 by M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, so I decided to watch that because it's one of the more milder.
Accessible. Yeah.
It was a little, yeah, it's on Netflix, so I mean anyone can go on there and watch it. Luckily, budget for the movie was $10 million, and in the box office it made like $63 million. So it was, I guess that's considered somewhat of an success.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I don't think it's that great compared to Shyamalan's earlier movies, but people have kind of lost faith in him.
Yeah, 100%. I think people have lost faith in him. His movie is really deteriorated. I thought this movie was all right though.
I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad.
It was a simple story.
Yeah, it was. Pretty much like the premise for the movie is that these people get trapped in an elevator, and in the elevator, the devil is in there. So, but these people don't really believe in the devil, so they're not thinking it's the devil. They're just like thinking they're turning against each other, thinking one of them is killing all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting because it's more of like watching them turn on each other and like human reaction. And the devil's just kind of like playing with them, and then from the outside of the elevator, people are trying to help them and get them out. They're just completely trapped, and slowly, one by one, they all die.
I think my only problem with this movie is that it could have just worked as a short film.
It could have worked really well as a short film. I agree. Some parts of it were a little too long, I thought. And it was a short movie, too. It was only like 80 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I just feel like a lot of the outside stuff going on in the movie was honestly unnecessary. I think they could have just had it in the, they could have just had it in the elevator, and then maybe the guys watching the video of the elevator.
Yeah.
And I would have thought that would have been fine. Trying to think of some other things from that movie I liked. One thing in that movie that was a little corny to me was they were hitting us hard with the biblical references, like hard, like the detective whose family died. They died on Bethlehem Road, you know, and then the street the building was on was Locusts, and then I wrote down everything I saw that I just kind of like was like, really, do we need to put that? The apple tree song, just there was just too much. Just they hit me too hard with the reference. Oh, the building number was 333.
Which times 2
Yeah, and
is 666.
And they were in elevator 6. It was a little too much with the hit. They could have just done elevator 6, and I think that would have been cool with me.
I think, as far as the references you mentioned go, if it had been more intellectual references, things that not everyone would have caught, unless maybe they had read the Bible, that would have been a bit more clever.
I agree, because I've not read the Bible. I know nothing about the Bible. I caught all of the references, and I was just like, I wish they would have been a little bit tougher to figure out, because then if I had figured them out, I would have been like, oh, I'll pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the camera angles in this movie, they were hitting me a little too hard with them. I don't know, something very just off about it. Like, in the beginning, they do it, and it's upside down of the cityscape.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep doing it for, like, a really long time. And I don't know, it's just the angles in this movie are too much for me, too harsh.
Okay. So, I mean, it's an okay movie, then.
I think it's okay. I think it's worth watching.
Mm-hmm. It's not worth buying.
No, I would watch it on Netflix, 100%.
All right.
Not support M. Night Shyamalan with this. If you're gonna support him, let it be something good, like Signs or something.
Unbreakable.
Yeah, I'm gonna express an unpopular opinion here. I mean, I think Lady in the Water is a good movie. I think that one's worth buying.
I've seen parts of that movie. One thing I saw from it, I didn't dislike it.
Yeah, I think the major issue with that is it was marketed as a horror film when it was really more of a fantasy film.
I didn't know it was marketed as a horror film. That's really weird.
Yeah, but I hated The Village.
I thought that was a good twist.
The villain, like, I don't know. I figured it out 10 minutes in. Maybe that's why I hated it.
Really?
Oh.
How'd you figure it out 10 minutes in?
Well, I've watched too many movies, I guess. There were just a lot.
Dang.
It was really obvious.
Okay, to be fair, you probably went into that movie going, "Where's the twist? Where's the twist?" Okay, what's the
Okay.
possibilities here? Okay, this is M. Night Shyamalan we're talking about. What's he done so far?
You're right. I'm
That's
guilty as charged.
true. I watched that movie and like it was just on TV one day and I caught it on TV and I didn't know it was by him. I didn't even know the name of it and I just started watching it and I was like, what a twist! What? Oh, that's why they sent the blind girl. That makes sense.
One thing I would not suggest is don't ever go to watch a new M. Night Shyamalan movie after just having watched The Sixth Sense.
Don't go in there with high expectations. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Do not watch the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. It is really terrible and it ruins a really great children's TV show that adults can watch.
Yep.
Oh, darn. I was just about to pop that into my DVD player.
No, never. Don't support that movie. It's really, really disappointing how bad it is.
It bugs me that a lot of them are white.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, it would have been fine with me if some of them were white. That
But
wouldn't
not
be so
Katara. Not Katara.
Tara's dark. Like she's got like a darker complexion. Ah, yeah. It made me so mad. And then like he makes the Fire Nation like dark Asians, and it was like, but the bad guys are the dark guys, and it's like, it's uncomfortable with me. I don't like that. I don't know. It's just it was not great at all.
But Devil was better.
Devil was better. So in terms of Devil versus Avatar: The Last Airbender, wow, Devil was fantastic.
Yeah. The devil himself, he's a very sinister character. He's the definition of sinister character, and I don't think it's very easy to have a convincing devil in a movie. A convincing Satan, Lucifer, whatever.
It's just there's just so many different ways to play it. Like I watched one TV show where the show Reaper, the devil was in it, and he was just kind of this very playful character.
You just had to slip Reaper in there, didn't you?
I did, because that was this instance where they had the devil and he was super likable, but he was still evil.
Yeah, I really would have liked a conclusion to that show, but well, then you've got the God, the Devil, and Bob, where the devil is a comical character who kind of gets frustrated a lot. You've got the devil in Looney Tunes cartoons.
Where? When?
Usually when someone ends up in a pot, like because they just died, like a boiling pot. The devil's in the details.
I can think of a really good story. As you know, I don't read.
Of course.
Yeah. The only thing I can probably usually make it through, because I have a really short attention span, is Stephen King short stories.
Go on.
There is a really good one called The Man in the Black Suit, which is actually a elderly man recanting his tale of meeting the devil when he was a young boy.
That sounds good. Does it have excessive cussing? Because I know, like, Stephen King went through a weird phase where half of the words were, like, just swear words.
No, but it's just... This boy encounters this man who just approaches him while he's alone fishing. And, of course, this is like the 30s, the 40s, so that's not strange. He's away from his parents, and the devil just kind of starts messing with this kid, just kind of being like, telling him, your mother's actually dead right now, you know.
Oh, gosh.
Now, and just starts playing with his head. The boy actually catches a fish. Guy walks up to the fish, picks it up, just opens his gullet and swallows it.
Gross.
He's just talking about how he could actually feel like an excessive amount of heat coming from the guy's mouth. And the devil proceeds to chase him home before finally disappearing through the woods.
You know, I find that interesting because I think a well-written devil in a story makes you feel like a child again. And that's one incredibly terrifying element of that character.
Mm-hmm.
This one makes you go home and hide under the covers.
Yeah, it makes you feel vulnerable. Okay, so I think it's time to start wrapping this up. Julianne, would you like to mention our Twitter?
Yes, we have our Twitter, Hallow-Holics. I am tweeting it. I did that today. So, yep. And I'll probably put out when the time our podcast is gonna come out. I'll release like, hey, the new one's out. So yeah, check it out. Tweet at us if you have anything you want us to talk about. Just at any point in time, just be like, hey, next time you guys should mention whatever horror cupcakes or something.
Yeah.
Anything's cool.
Feel free to even correct us. Correct us if we said something stupid. We want all your flaming.
Hatred.
Well, not too much. Don't be mean. Don't be mean about it.
Julianne can take it.
More of a simmer. A simmering hate.
A low boil right before you throw the macaroni into the water. And I would like to redact what I said on our last episode. It's actually, my blog is Hallow-Holic.blogspot.com without an S at the end. I just keep adding an S for some reason. So if you want to check out the blog, which, that posts about the podcast, shares some videos we mention when we talk about this stuff, go ahead and head over to Hallow-Holic.blogspot.com.
So check under your bed before you go to sleep. Because the devil could be there.
I thought he was in the details.
He's also in the details, so beware of those as well.
Is he in the details of the bed?
Perhaps. Maybe under the comforter. Check everywhere. He could be anywhere. The devil could be anywhere.
Just live your life paranoid and terrified of the devil. It's perfectly normal and perfectly healthy behavior.
Yes. I mean, he could be right behind you right now. Okay.
And I'd also like to mention a few podcasts, Sawbones and Horror, etc., which is Horror ETC. 2 great podcasts, really worth checking out.
That's not enough!
All right, and it looks like we're going to have a bit of a financial issue with Sharon. Someone forgot to bring the coins, Julianne.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.